Praise Allah for the Prophet Noble Jew Ali. I want to give honor to the Prophet also for establishing the additional laws, supreme laws, general laws, rules, regulations, and orders of our society, our nation, our glorious nation state. I want to give honors to the members of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Praise Allah for you. Praise Allah for all of us, for we're all members. But I want to give a special honor to the members of Temple number 43. Praise Allah. When you honor man, you honor Allah. I want to give honors to the American flag. I want to give honors to the American flag, Old Glory, red, white, and blue. I want to give special and divine honors to our national flag. The all red, the 5-pointed green star in the center, those 5 points representing love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, over 10,000 years old. I want to give honors to Islamism, the old time religion. Praise Allah. I want to give honors to every single thing that I can more. I just want to give honors to the sheiks of the Moorish Science Temple of America. I want to give honors to the officials of the Moorish Science Temple of America and all the great work that you are doing and continue to do. And I look forward to all the great work you do in the future. All right, I want to give honors to the guests. I want to give honors to the new members. Praise Allah for the new members coming through. Islamism, welcome to the Moorish Science Temple of America. I want to give honors to the guests. I want to give honors to all those particular people, listening in. And I want to give honors to all the nationalities worshiping the great God. Victory. Okay. It's Allah on this Friday, for it is our holy day for all Muslims here and all over the world. As we come back into our understanding of our forefather divine and national creed, it is natural that we come back into our way. Today known as a religion, but Islam is a simple way. It means the way of peace. And it is now upon us to live according to the dynamics of peace. And one of the first dynamics, or one of its first principles, is love. Love's first expression from itself is truth. Truth and love go hand in hand. Like, pretty much, we're almost one and the same. You can't truly comprehend love without truth. And truth sometimes is incomprehensible within its dynamics. Although, as its third expression, being peace, these things become a little bit more clear because we can relate even more because people have maybe grown up with chaos, or that there's chaos around them within their environment. And then they get momentary moments of peace where they understand the dichotomy and the difference thereof. And then its next expression is freedom, because once you get a taste of peace, you're always looking for it. You're always looking for it, but what you're looking for is freedom, the freedom to express this peace, the freedom to express truth. Therefore, you stay in the dichotomies of love. Right. And the end result are the justice of these things. Gives you a better way, a clearer point of view of what are we doing? And the chaos that's going on around us in today's reality, which we're going to deal with, never try to shy away from, because it's always good to stay ahead of a thing, and always, when things approach that seem to be threatening, it's never good to run. It's always good to analyze what's going on so that your next move does not come from a move of fear. See, peace is the absence of fear. Islam is peace, with all of its attributes of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Or love, truth, freedom, and justice. And when we master this formula of, of our ancient forefathers' divine creed, we begin to understand it's just simply a matter of mastering ourselves. Because in the ancient or the old time religion of Islamism, the key understanding is in that is the knowledge. But without the knowledge itself, you could not then understand these particular principles because you would think they're outside of you. You would think peace is something in a car. You'll think that getting this particular car will give me peace. It'll give you a piece of something, all right? But it may bring on more worries than you thought. So you can open up your Quran to the end of time, fulfilling of the prophecies. We're going to be done in that chapter quickly. We'll get that chapter. So today's lesson really is, what are we doing here? Okay, not meaning this in a broad, but a kind of specific sense. We're going to narrow it down to, why do we come to a Friday? Is, people have a lot of people are starting to have an issue with religion because they've been given a false religion unto their psychology, which means their soul or their mind, right? It's not conducive. Therefore, you throw off things that are not conducive. And if you don't understand that, it becomes radical within your head and you begin to think religion's the actual issue, but religion's just a word. So is Islam. So is Christianity. So is Buddhism. These are words. Are symbols and have expressions behind them, but they only become relevant when you pick them up and begin to make them a part of your life. And then if it does good in your life and you see these particular loving, great results, especially amongst you and your peers, you then begin to defend it. You then begin to uphold it and value it because it's doing a benefit. And the best benefit it can do first is within our own character. That's why the Prophet's given us such a dynamic instructional book. Not only the Prophet Noble Ali says, Islam is a very simple faith, but he also says, the purpose is to uplift all humanity. And he tells us who those are, and those were us, thinking ourselves to be outside of our own particular mind. And we've taken on other people's psychology and other people's mindsets. Right now, we've come to understand that European psychology can be traced back to a particular people who were also put in a form of servitude here in the Americas, and then they put us as children amongst them, and we took up their psychology unto today. Now, getting back our psychology, getting back our way, the dynamic works of the Prophet Noble Ali, praise Allah for him, has established these particular things where we can come back into, almost like coming back into the house, picking up, come back into the house and then going to school. And the school happens every day within our own mind, really, but nonetheless, we are in a form of re-education. In this re-education, he says that we are to do the things necessary to make men and women better citizens. And this is the part where nationality comes in, where we teach nationality and divine creed. And it says nationality twice. Nationality is so important because it goes into the overall makeup of the character of not only the individual, but the collectiveness of those individuals come under a collective whole and how they perform. See, we're coming back home, right? And we're picking up the tools that our father, Noble Ali, our parent, our ancestor, our grandfather, granddad, so forth and so on, right? Our parent, ancestor, Noble Ali has left for us. And the very first thing we need to understand is the rules of the house. So that when we come in, we don't have an idea thinking on how it go. Because that's what's going on out there. A lot of people think on how it should go. No, that's how you think it should go. With the psychology he's trying to get you to pay attention to that may need correcting. Too many, I think I know how it go, instead of I'm here to learn on how it go. And when you approach that particular point of I'm here to learn from the divine instructions that our common parent has left us, then we move wonders because ego gets dropped. We are here to become better citizens under this unbelievable bomb dynamic known as the Moorish Science Temple of America, or the National Republic of the United States of America, another word for that would be the national government. What do those terms particularly mean? Well, in that, hopefully you come on civics class and we're going to break down, you know what I'm saying, the difference between a constitutional republic democracy and a theocracy, and then get you to understand what the Moorish Science Temple of America is. That's civics. But today, it's divine creed. Divine creed is a relationship with your higher self and your lower self, right? And its expression amongst the rest of us. This is why the instructions in him making these particular points for us to come in and pick up. And then all these things will be added unto us. He said, first, seek ye the kingdom of heaven, and then all these things will be added unto you. Well, first, in seeking the kingdom of heaven, well, when you walk up in here, there's some things you need to pick up, such as the rules to heaven. Since you're a creator and create your own heaven and hell, and if you look back, you got to figure out what you've been creating lately. And if you're in more misery and sorrow and always something going on wrong and all this and all that, you know, then that's some hell. And then the tools of heaven then are at your fingertips. It's best that we listen to what the prophet of God has to teach us. So what does he mean by becoming a better citizen? What type of citizen? What citizen are we becoming thereof? Well, obviously the citizen of the kingdom of heaven. See, the prophet is a prophet sent from Allah. That's the father of the universe. In case we get arrogant in our stance around here. Well, if he was sent and ordained by Allah, and you know, looking back in our history, there's always prophets sent, and to our understanding, these are the words of God. And now we're getting back our understanding of God, our Father God Allah. Therefore, the Moorish Science Temple of America is as close to heaven, or that understanding of how those who dwell in what we perceive as heaven function. See, the foundations of what heaven to be built upon, the laws are here. So let's look at a little bit of it. So chapter number 48, beginning of time fulfilling the prophecies. In these modern days, there came a forerunner who was, number one. So number one, the last prophet in these days is Noble Drew Ali, who was prepared divinely in due time by Allah to redeem men from their sinful ways and to warn them of the great wrath which is sure to come upon the earth. John the Baptist was the forerunner of Jesus in those days, to warn and stir up the nations and to prepare them to receive the divine creed, which was to be taught by Jesus. In these modern days, there came a forerunner who was divinely prepared by the great God Allah. His name was Marcus Garvey, who did teach and warn the nations of the earth to prepare to meet the coming prophet, who was to bring the true and divine creed of Islam. And his name is Noble Drew Ali, who was prepared and sent to this earth by Allah to teach the old time religion and the everlasting gospel to the sons of men. That every nation shall and must worship under their own vine and fig tree and return to their own and be one with their Father God Allah. The Moorish Science Temple of America is a lawfully chartered and incorporated organization. Any subordinate temple that desires to receive a charter, the prophet has them to issue to every state throughout the United States. You can see. Now here we come to a point, the lessons of the day. Number 5, that the world may hear and know the truth, that among the descendants of Africa, there is still much wisdom to be learned in these days of the redemption of the sons of men under love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Now, for those who've been here for a while, we know that Africa means America, but you can go look in chapter 47 by the landmass that he explains the Northwest. But number 5 is a key, sometimes skipped over. But this wisdom, or this truth, excuse me, that there's still much wisdom to be learned in these days, right now, for the redemption. It's a big word, redemption. That's a huge word. You're going through redemption right now. Don't forget the people who we call the status correction. No, you're getting redeemed, like the prophet said. It's going through redemption. Wonder why you're going through issues? Sometimes you get into the Moorish Science Temple of America and all of a sudden issues start happening. Yeah, your karma's getting cleaned out. This redemption of the sons of men under love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, that's a direct connection to the Moorish Science Temple of America. That means us, that means we, that means me, that means you. So in this understanding, this wisdom goes to the first call, which to come all ye Asiatics and hear the truth, right? And then that other one is to make men and women better citizens. Because when you understand what the purpose of America is, which you are coming back to, becoming a real American under the real American system known as the Moorish Science Temple of America, the only true one, because it's indigenous unto the land known as the nation state. This is the system where you need to become better too, because it's the only one that is, as you can see, that's going to be lasting around you. Oh, you don't believe that now? Okay. Well, things are rapidly going back to the Republic. So you're going to hear about Saudi Arabia making its deal to drop the petrodollar or the dollar bill. A few years now, get your money out the bank. A few years now, get your money out the bank. That's just, Ali told you, you're going to see that dollar bill. I got it from the prophet. Said, you're going to see that dollar bill on the ground, you ain't going to even pick it up. That day is so around the corner. It was down the block, around the corner, up the street, in the next, vicinity, down the district, hopefully in the next day. That thing around the corner, man. It is being announced. We got the word the other day, announcing to you now that we're all together, that Saudi Arabia just made the deal to go trade in the yuan, the yuan, the China money. All right, so it's kind of funny, but then again, it's not. But then again, if you're prepared, then it's no fear. You've been slipping along the way, thinking what we've been telling you here at the Moorish Science Temple of America is a joke. You ain't been putting up your 90 days, or taking your money out, flipping it into gold, and now maybe an announcement at the end where you have to start looking at things. But anyway, back to this particular point. So, in becoming better citizens, which this country has forgotten, your role too is a beautiful and special unto America as a whole. Because you're in the capabilities now of teaching people the real truth on how it really goes. Because when you understand the law of what people were supposed to do here and what you've gotten, it's like, well, this goes hand in hand. See, people of America, the reason why they're falling up under the weight of their cross of carnality now, uncontrolled carnality, the dollar bills crashing, the banks are people making runs in the banks around the world. Their cultural institution is no longer believable. Their institutions of news where you're supposed to get the correct things of how things are going is just propaganda machines on both ends. As Malcolm X said, they're all working on the same team. The reason is because no one remembers what it means to be an American. You aren't really taught. You were just left, especially Black people, they were left to their own devices. But the ones that were so-called supposed to be in charge of the situation, or that were supposed to be responsible enough to, move things forward, really forgotten, or maybe it was never meant for them to know. But the Prophet Noble Ali, in his wise understanding, made sure that you're going to get these understandings. See, to be an American is not something that's just made up in your head. You're coming into something. So it's good to know what it is and how to perform and how to act. And when everybody's back on the same page, we living in paradise. Such as these people have forgotten the reason why they are, Sleepy Joe up there sleeping. In other words, perhaps they're gonna make them stop thinking. Well, one of the biggest ones, in my humble opinion, is they forgot how to be beneficial to peace. See, being beneficial to peace is one of the requirements of being an American. See, in America, the degree of independence is developed out of which is born the idea in the minds of many that of a citizen of the United States of America may be a law unto himself. This is a lot of people think. Retaining, however, the disposition to regulate the other fellow. If he does not like the law, he seeks a way to evade it, at the same time shouting viciously over the increase of crime and the lessened influence of the courts. He demands the highest wage obtainable and complains at the price he must pay for the product of his fellow laborer. He insists upon the rights to independence and liberty, yet is ever ready to restrict such actions on the part of others. That citizen who has not developed the spirit of cooperation and understanding and tolerance is at war with us. He's at war with his fellow man. See, when you forget what you're doing here, you get selfish. But when the principles of America are taught correctly, it is every American citizen must guard against the spirit of selfishness. The ordinate desire for material gain, the temptation to live beyond one's means, and the tendency to find the easiest way to obtain the most in satisfying one's constant increase of wants. That's what's going on. It's selfishness at its highest level. That's why they crumble. And that's why we rise, because we got principles. And this is why when you come here, you get taught the things to become a better citizen. In our Quran, it teaches us how to become unselfish by understanding in chapter 3, the lower self and the illusions of this world. Honesty is one of the golden rules within our thing. But see, the golden rules no longer golden rule to these ones. And that's why it's crumbling. Their class consciousness has gotten out of control. It is the very social classism that creates the functions of racism in this society. But in the real America, class consciousness and class activity is the result largely of the intrusion of ideas of government entirely outside of the fixed principles set forth in the Constitution, and should be no more tolerated in the country than we would expect our principles if introduced by un-Americans. To be accepted by another nation, classism is the foundation of racism and is not tolerated in civilized society. Calling yourself Black, calling yourself white is the reason of the destruction of America. For it was built on a lie. And then when the very people where the lie was forced on during the times of slavery wake up to the reality of who they are, the lie has to crumble. So when you see the dollar bill falling as it is, and when you are soon to walk over it as you will, I don't feel as sorry for it as you might. For it is a fiat held up by an illusion. It's nothing. It doesn't backed up by anything. That is not a real system to back up something tangible such as man. That's a system of a tyranny bound to fail in the end. Only uphold in a democracy under a social corporate class construct got everybody into being illusions, born into an illusion of a corporation you never knew until you woke up. Born into an illusion monetary system, uphold the illusion of the corporate system because somebody want to be something that they're not, which is white. And Black. And it's infested the entire world. And everybody's sick of it. 20 more countries have went to the BRICS since I talked to you last about it. The United for Asia, like I told you months ago, is popping. Put that on my last video and look what's going on. See, we back, and I know we back, but you gotta know we back, so we move forward by honoring our principles. But you gotta get those principles. See, today they want to tell you that the immigrant's the problem. And then a lot of Black people get caught up in that. The immigrant ain't the problem. The immigrant is not the problem. Actually, he's been one of the most outstanding assets in the development of America. Slowly but surely, there's being assimilated and amalgamated in this country the bloods practically of every single nation. And now today we stand truly amalgamated with every blood running through us. And the time for Superman accomplishment is on the scene. And those who have fallen under the pressure of the lie and believe in themselves to be something other than their true selves is finna get it. They're getting it now. Their entire system was built on an illusion of somebody else's work. Told you that in the video. And now you coming home to the truth of self, and sometimes it gets combating because we've been full of lies for so long. And these lies we have made into habits about ourselves. When some people have been lied to believe that they ugly in that system, because that system of beauty is a lie. With the fake hair, the fake eyelashes, the fake breasts, the fake buttocks, the fake every single thing you look around. And you wonder why people going crazy. People can't have stable relationships because every single thing is fake. And the only way out is the route we take on our Friday, on our holy day, where we submit to the will of Allah by saying, if this is our holy day, then we come and we worship on our holy day. Given to us with the divine instructions by a parent that we know that loves us. You may not have had a father in your life, but you got one and know what you are leaving. There's no more excuses for us. Either we become the leaders of the new world. You already know what's the only other thing. We've just been through it. We are just now beginning. And some people act like they need a vacation. Vacation to what? You either on this mothership, rolling, or you gonna be out there with the sharks. And the water is, like I told you, is full of blood. That dollar bill is done, so what you think is finna start happening? Huh? Food and water is finna become the commodity. Do you hear me? Food and water, for a short time, becomes the biggest commodity. When that dollar crashes, people gonna be jumping out the window. People gonna be killing themselves. Everybody's gonna be trying to come home and gonna find that they've already burnt that bridge home because they put the dollar bill over their own family. They put that money as if that was the greatest thing in their life. And when they come home looking for God, they can't find God no more. Tell me, it's over. You either go get some of that gold, take your money and put it in some of that Bitcoin right now. Yeah, we told you not to do it a while ago. But they cleaned up the dude who was in there with the shenanigans. You better move it into something. You better go take a good look and stop believing on a wish up on a cloud. When your prophet told you these things was gonna happen over 100 years ago. And now that you see them up on you, what you gonna do? No time to get scary now. You know, the funny thing about it is you're prepared because you weren't filthy rich, even though you lusted for it. What are people gonna do? They did horrible things to go get all that fiat. Horrible things just to get a little fiat. People done killed for it, then turn their back on family members and kill family members. Set people up. Women and, broke up families going after other people just because they had a little bit more money. So did the brothers. Ooh-wee. When the justice and karma of that comes back to hit them, what did you do to go get yours? Hopefully nothing too dangerous. Because it's an illusion, and that illusion falls on you, what you got. What status do people have when there ain't no more money in that bank like that? When they flip you out and only give you 10% of what you even had at the end. With that. Because you know what? It's going central. You don't have to go see it. But these are the dynamics of did we obey? These are the dynamics of are we taking this serious? Because the world is now mimicking the prophecies. Soon they're gonna come running. See, this here beautiful chance and head start that we got. People worried about money and stuff like, man, your resources is there. The fiat's falling. The only thing left is commodity money. That's why I've been talking about it for years now. Yeah, you know, people. The head start is beautiful. So anyway, looking at the foundations here of teaching one to become a better citizen, in our divine instruction, the prophet gives us the understanding of character. For this character, honestly, it's character that leads you into all of the better opportunities in life, the better developed your character. Some people don't believe they need any room to develop their character. I'm good. This I hit on something. Huh? See, the foundations of character, the character of an individual and the nation is the foundations upon religion and education. So when you're looking at the foundations of character of an individual too, or of a whole nation, that's the foundations of character are based on religion and education. That's why we get a character of Jesus or the personality of Jesus in the book here. Why it speaks about Jesus so much, and we already know who that is. And then whom he first reincarnated into. So that character continues to go all the way up until today to where we get Noble Drew Ali. The last incarnation of that being. And his character is exemplified. It's beautiful. It's, look at the divine work. So it's necessary for us to read our Quran to get this particular character of heaven. It's necessary so that when the other heavenly beings come around, we write in lockstep. You ain't trying to run under a rock. You like, hey, what's good? Look like one of our family. The spirit of benevolence is one of our points, but it's also a point of American way. See, if these things weren't taught, hopefully, like I said, you'll come to more civics class and I'll break these things down a little bit better. But the spirit of benevolence taught to the individual when they're coming into a foreign country or into the country is very important. The foundations of character is very important when people are entering into someone else's divine thing. Why? Because they're gonna start thinking it's their thing. They're gonna start peeing on the wall. They're gonna start crapping on it, taking it and making up their own forms, taking it and making up their own thing with it, putting special images on it, putting pyramids on it, red thumbprints on it, selling you things that don't mean nothing out there. Because they never respected the foundations or the particular people that they got it from, didn't understand the foundations of character of the nation or of themselves, because they wanted to go look for the money quickly before they look how to clean themselves up. where then the money would be just like that, just like that. Why? Because they would know what purpose is, because they would know thyself. They would understand how to control thyself, because they would understand the inconsistencies of themselves, the weaknesses of themselves. Therefore, when you understand those basic things of who you are and with your character, you become that much better because you're strengthened. And then when I see you, you strengthen me. Your character so exemplified, I got no choice but to get up, get mine popping. Some people get jealous. That's the wrong attribute. The energy may be good, but you're looking at it from the wrong point of view. You took jealousy instead of inspiration. You went jealous on it. Got inspired, then it got twisted on you. Because it's something in you that does not, that when it got inspired, it felt guilty that you couldn't do it, instead of looking at it like, man, can I get the info? See, in the love age, you got to look at it in the love way, which means that starts again with you. Don't start with the person you think you dislike. You dislike somebody else like that. Should have been stopped dealing with them. No, it's really you. Spirit of benevolence, nothing is more characteristic of modern America life than the pouring out of private wealth for the public service. Community life religion and your town meetings is a responsibility of every single good Moorish American or national citizen. Because you're responsible for your true community. You want to look why the people's community the way it is, go look in the mirror. You the reason. Because you didn't want to go vote. Because you didn't want to go take up the responsibilities of learning what it means to be. Thus, the slouches and the perverted things come about when you don't keep structure. Chaos comes in, and chaos looks like the ghetto. You don't know where that ghetto is. Ghetto don't mean black, Latino. Man, ghetto everywhere. White ghetto, so-called. Why? Because they think themselves something that they're not. Ghetto mentality got a cause. Everything got a cause. People broke pockets got a cause. Because you thought the government, you didn't understand the principles of government. That wasn't there to give you a handout. They were there to secure peace. They was there to secure liberty, and therefore to secure your opportunity, the life of freedom, and get your choices on correct. As soon as you wanted them to give you a handout, then you asked for government to run your life. But see, that only happens when the community breaks down. And the reason the community breaks down is because the family structure broke down. And without the family structure, there is no government, there is no real community. What you have is chaos. Just like we got today, baby mama, baby daddy drama. And that's really all it is. At the end of that particular cycle that we are now witnessing. So don't feel sorry for when you see Babylon fall, for it's just the illusion falling away and your habits that were attached to it. And so when you let go of your habits attached to Babylon and pick up the habits of this kingdom that Allah has sent on the earth through our holy and divine prophet, that we have now got instructions on how to build to, and you see babbling, bumbling, old stumbling Joe, sleepy, can't think, and you think you can't do a better job? You know, hot pants Kamala? Huh? Crazy. Out your head. And don't even Trump, what, convict Trump? You waiting on him to do something? And please. You've been waiting on people all your life. You've been waiting on the ones to come when it was always you. Now that we got to rely on one another, we got to rely on each other under a certain set of rules and certain set of aspirations around here, because we relied on each other when it was just nothing but chaos out there, and that didn't do nothing but bring dope in the hood where nobody wanted to get rid of it. And it killed off 3 generations of people. Oh, they'll fix it as a 3 strikes your son. Go out there and get that money. As now he got 52, looking at 52, and where you going the opposite way, looking for the next vet to go get that money. And now that that money's crashing to the ground, ooh, how that feels. It is the foundation where they forgot the ideals and principles of America, or this wouldn't even be going on today.